Hello, 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 everybody. Thank you for joining me on this beautiful day. I'm Gertrude Chapman, inspirational book coach and the creator of the Aspiring Authors Lab, where I teach aspiring authors who are struggling with self-esteem, self-confidence, and self-worth issues how to cut through the clutter, leverage their knowledge, stop procrastinating, and create income. And I wanted to talk to those of you who may have gone through a traumatic event in your life. Sometimes, we find ourselves going through those um, traumatic events. Like I said, thank you for joining me today. That, causes great pain in our lives and causes, everything that we see about ourselves to be devalued. And the lack of self-esteem, self-confidence, and not seeing value in yourself because of, things that have gone on in the past. But I want to encourage you today to stop blaming yourself because it's not your fault. It's not your fault, you know? And I wanted to bring this out because with today being Human Trafficking Awareness Day, I just wanted to remind you that trouble don't always last, okay? Trouble does not always last. Sometimes we may find ourselves in dark places where we feel trapped. But let me encourage you, there is a light that is shining in that darkness. Sometimes you can't see that light, right away because there's so much clouds of darkness, but there is a light. And sometimes you get distracted because of everything that's going on around you and inside of you. Okay? But there's a light there. And I want to share that because that light it gives you hope. Although human trafficking, human trafficking was not my darkness. It wasn't what happened to me. But what I was surrounded with was demon possession. Okay? It was demon possession. It was a family member who brought terror to our house. And this is when I was growing up. I'm going to tell you, it was horrific. Okay? I can't go into details with everything that happened because it would be, a long story. Okay? And I want to tell you, no one outside of those four walls really knew the horror of living with a demon-possessed individual. No one, understood what I was going through. And this is something that I experienced during my middle school and high school years. The things that I lived through as a child, I'm going to tell you, Child Protective Service will certainly have taken me away. Although I was not physically abused or anything of that nature, but the emotional abuse, the things that I saw, the things, that took place, but, within those four walls were very traumatic. And like I said, I'm only going to, give you an outline. I lived in a home with my parents, my grandmother, and my uncle, who was the unbalanced one. It was him. He was the unbalanced one because he had been institutionalized for, 17 years following the war. That was World War II. And as long as he took his medication, he was good. But when he didn't, and he did it by choice, it was hell. Okay? It was Hell, hell. And like I said, I'm not going to go into details, but I want you to picture this. How would you like living in a house that had padlocks on the inside so he wouldn't escape? That's just a brief, picture that I want you to get. Hell is hell. No matter if it's a victim of human trafficking, raped, or being trapped inside of your own home with padlocks on the inside. When you're in this situation, you only think that it's you and you're there. But I want to tell you, but there are others out there who are experiencing some of the same type of abuse and worse, and worse. I'm telling you, it took me some time to get started writing my book because I was going through different phases of healing. Like I said before, only close family members and people inside of the house really knew what was going on. But once I released my book, I found many others who gravitated to what I had went through. Because what happened, it began to release them to receive healing from the horrors that they had experienced. And I want to tell you, hell is hell, no matter what type of hell that you may be in or have gone through. The fire is hot, okay? That blazing fire is hot. And that's what you feel like. You feel like you are all trapped. But there's a light there, but you can't see it. You can't see it until, you really, see it once you have, look, I'm not giving up. There's a fight in me. And, when you find yourself in situations like this, you cannot give up. You got to continue fighting. Thank you for joining me today. And the same thing can happen for you. As you are writing, you are going through a release and a healing period. And once your story is out there, it will help others to also experience the healing that they deserve. No one, absolutely no one deserves to be treated in a degrading fashion or made to feel, just broke down and discouraged and, crushed. If you have ever experienced a horrible tragedy, I encourage you to write your story. You just don't know how much it will help somebody else. Your story not only helps you to heal, but it also helps others too. Because sometimes people carry around the guilt and the shame of, what they have gone through, and they carry these things around to their grave, and they never experience, the true fulfillment in their life. They never experience by the pain of the past. Now, let me show you this. This is the book I wrote, Motivation from Within, Leveraging Your Power. Okay, I wrote this book back in 2010. And this had happened to me back in the 70s, okay, the early 70s. That's over 30 years. I wrote this book. This was my way of, receiving my healing, even though, how can I even say this? Even though, I didn't go to anybody to, psychiatrist, psychologist, or anything of that nature. But there were some things inside of me that, I just had to express it. I had to get it out. Okay. Many times, people will approach me and they would thank me for telling my truth and showing them hope. Motivation from within, leveraging your power. And in this book, I talked about, the power of God, that worked on the inside of me. And that's what the motivation from within is. Having that fight, having that hope, not giving up, not giving up. As long as there's breath in your body, there is hope. You don't have to remain there, okay? It may be a traumatic situation, it may be even a dangerous situation, but know that there is light. There is light in your darkness, okay? And I just want to share this with you. If anybody, would like to, order this book or anything of that nature, because that wasn't my main concern, but I wanted to show you, I wrote about my horrible situation, okay? And if I wrote about my horrible situation and it helped others, you could also do the same thing. And this is on Amazon. You can get this on the Amazon platform, and the ISB number is 978 515 19709. Again, the ISB number for Motivation from Within, Leveraging Your Power is 978 515 19709. You know, I want to encourage you, write your story. Don't suffer in silence. Be a light to someone who needs hope. They need to see that they can live beyond what they are currently, experiencing. Today is Human Trafficking Awareness Day. So I want to remind you to be safe. Watch your surroundings and stay woke. And I hope what I have shared with you have helped you see the value that you possess on the inside in helping other human beings to have hope, to see that, they don't have to feel trapped. They don't have to feel hopeless. They don't have to feel like this is the way it's going to be forever and ever. Okay? That they don't have to, suffer in silence. That their self-esteem, self-confidence, and self-worth can be rebuilt. So, sow good seeds by writing your book to help others. And when you sow good seeds, you're going to reap great rewards. Okay? Great rewards. So, I want to thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule today. And I look forward to you joining me again. So don't forget to share this video with a group, because you never know what someone's facing. Remember, I told you, I said only the people within the four walls knew what was going on inside the house, and maybe a few family members on the outside. But guess what? No one did anything about it. No one. So you can't just sit there and, just sit there and die. Just sit there and vegetate. If it takes every bit of strength on the inside of you, get up and do something that's going to make a difference, not only in your life, but in the lives of others. So until next time, I'm Gertrude J. Chapman, Inspirational Book Coach. Remember, this is your time. This is your season. This is your turning point. Have a great rest of the day.